Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little bit different. I've been asked to refurbish an item. Now, I've never done refurbishment before, but after looking at the item, I need to pick up a few things. I'm going to try to keep this as cheap as possible for myself. I'm going to try to spend under $50. And so let me run to Harbor Freight, get a couple items, and let's see what we can get ourselves into. Okay guys, first let's see the item that we're going to be refurbishing. Alright, this is a small little coffee table that a family friend of ours gave to me to refurbish. Looking at this thing already, I can tell it's not going to be too hard. Now, I hope. Now there's a couple key spots on this tabletop that she definitely wants me to hit first. So other than the gouges and normal stuff that comes with the tabletop, there are some cigarette burns that she definitely wants me to get out. So I'm definitely going to do that. I'm already looking at the contours of the legs, and these are going to be some tight spots. So definitely going to have to get a tool that can get into those tight spots and sand those down as well. I look at this detailed edge, this radiused edge, and I know that's going to be, I'm going to have to get into those spots to get that all sanded out as well. And let's see if I can't do something about this little bit of wobble I have going on here. Other than that, I think it should be pretty straightforward for my first refurbishing build. So let's get some tools and get to it. Alright guys, got back from Harbor Freight, and I also cheated a little bit. I went on Amazon, I got my Lacquer from Amazon, which will be linked in my description. This is definitely my favorite Lacquer 2-spray, so I'll link that below. But here's what I got from Harbor Freight. I picked up a multi-tool. So this, I plan on getting the Dewalt one, but it's like 130 bucks, something I can't really afford right now. Got this for I think 20 bucks. It was on sale, 10 or 20 bucks at Harbor Freight. So couldn't go wrong there. And then along with that, I picked up a like a sanding pad and some sandpaper of various sizes. So I picked up the big ones. So the big ones are 3 inches, and then this is a kit for the little 1-inch ones as well. So all this I think cost like 30 bucks because these were on sale for like $1. So I wanted to do this job as efficiently but as cheap as possible because I've never done refurbishment before. So all that out of the way, I think we have a lot of sanding to do, so let's do some sanding.
Okay, as soon as I took the belt sander to the top of the table, I realized how much material I was actually going to be taking off, and honestly, it kind of scared me a bit. Once I finished with the belt sander, I evened the top off with the palm sander at 80 grit. Then, it was time to break out my brand new tool and see how it worked. And honestly, it worked pretty well.
Okay guys, it's day 2. So day 1 was primarily getting this sanded, rough sanded, kind of seeing what I was dealing with. And now for day 2, I got some finer grit sandpaper for the legs for my little oscillating multi-tool. So I got 80, 100, and 120 grit. So those should work really well. And so now it's just up to a lot of sanding. So I'll use my palm sander from the top, and you'll see footage of that. And by the time I come back to you guys, hopefully I should be ready to put on some stain. So let's get to it. Okay, after 4 hours of sanding, I'm finally done. So the tabletop itself is sanded up to 220, and that detail around is also 220, and then the legs I sanded to 180. This was just because getting in that detail and that around the legs was taking a lot of time, like hours. The tabletop was what the customer really cared about, and I managed to get all of those burns right out pretty much right away. All the cigarette burn marks and everything. Now, because I don't know what type of wood this is, I just know that it's a dark wood and that it's very fine when I sand it. And so because of that, I'm going to use a pre-stain conditioner. So I have a little bit left over, so I thought might as well throw it on there. Use a pre-stain conditioner. Let that set up for about 30 minutes. I'm going to do a test of what stain I think would look the best to try to match it to what it previously was. In the corner, in the leg corner, so that nobody will see in case it doesn't turn out right. If it's all good to go, then I'll stain the whole piece and let that set overnight before I go spray some lacquer on it. Okay guys, quick update. So I put the pre-stain conditioner on and it looks amazing. But the problem is that, so I mix up the stain, I'm getting ready to put it on, and I put it on my little test piece, let it sit, then I wipe it, and it doesn't stick. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I put it again and I let it wait a little bit longer because I thought it might have been my error. I go to wipe it again, and it doesn't stick again. So what I could infer based off of the results was this. So I don't know what type of wood the table's made out of. It's sanding too easily for it to be walnut.
Wrong.
But it's a dark wood and I have no clue what it is. But the wood has a tight grain, meaning that once whatever little material you put on there, it's going to soak it right up, and guess what? It's not going to soak anymore up. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to pivot and try to put on some Danish oil. And it's going to leave it a nice oily finish, keep it the same, and then I'm going to coat the top of it with lacquer. So hopefully in a couple days it dries, especially with Fresno being so hot out right now. It's like 105 right now and it's pretty warm. So hopefully that quickens the drying time. So that's my update right there. I'm gonna putting some oil finish on, and then time to wait. Okay guys, a quick couple updates before I start applying the lacquer. It's been a couple days now. After doing some kind of thinking and stuff and looking at the wood after I put the oil on, I realized that the table actually is walnut, but it's super old walnut. And so when I was sanding it, I didn't think that it was because of the way it sanded. It was really fine dust. It was kind of weird. And I've sanded walnut before and I've messed with walnut. I know how it sands, and walnut doesn't normally sand like that, but new walnut doesn't sand like old walnut. So I've come to the conclusion that that is old walnut, and that's why it's taking so dang long to sand. Other than that, the oil soaked up just fine. So now it's time to look over it last minute, see if there's anything I need to touch up. If not, time to put on some lacquer. So let's spray.
So for the legs, I applied 3 coats with 5 minutes in between each one. Then I waited 30 minutes before taking 400 grit sandpaper and lightly sanding, and then I added a 4th coat. The tabletop was very similar, however, I added an additional coat before the 30-minute wait time. So I did 4 coats with 5 minutes in between, then I waited 30 minutes before taking 400 grit sandpaper and lightly sanding. Then I added the 5th coat.
So I really hope you guys enjoyed my kind of journey on doing my first type of refurbishment. I really learned a lot from this. I learned that I really need to do some evaluating when I first start out with the type of wood, how old the project is, how it's going to handle me sanding and getting on it, and also portraying a realistic expectation to the customer on what I can do, what I can't do. With all that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe. If you guys want to comment down below what you guys thought, or if you guys have done a refurbishment, how your first experience kind of went. But I really appreciate that. More content is soon to come. I really appreciate it. Thank you.